make you think the thing well.
But before we go into today's program,
So make I tell you, whether you be Yoruba house,
let me remind us that I'm Olubunmi Olufunsho Oshodipe.
now him make we go join hands together, make we country better.
Mo kí yín pé ẹ káàsán ní gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ti ń gbọ́ wa.
Samarin Nigeria,
Ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, ṣé dáadáa la bá yín.
Yamata Nigeria, Mudaga Nigeria,
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mi, ètò wa, ètò gbogbo wa.
Nigeria,
Tí a pè ní àmúyangàn orílẹ̀-èdè.
Namule,
Lórí rédíò JDN 101.5 FM. Tó sọ̀kalẹ̀ sí number 1 Church Street, Joyce B Road, Òkè Àdó nílùú Ìbàdàn.
Make we lift Nigeria up.
Màmá wò wá lórí Facebook. Èmi ọmọ yín, ọ̀rẹ́ yín, Olúbùnmi Olúfunṣọ́ Ọ̀ṣọ́dípẹ̀. Ló ń kí yín pé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Always happy to celebrate those I call the nation's pride. What is our nation's pride today? A banker, a management Thank you for all those people that are already there on the Facebook. Beautiful afternoon, a beautiful mama with a beautiful heart. Princess Abiola Oyepejola Fare is watching. Omolola Eunice is watching.
Samarin Nigeria lárugẹ. Nigeria, ẹ̀wù ìmọ̀nà o. Wàlá wo, wàgẹ́ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹgbẹ́. Ìwẹ̀ ìyá rẹ̀ màgá yòrè.
ọ̀dẹ̀ òjòbí mo dẹ̀ kí iléeṣẹ́ JDN radio ẹ kú bí iléeṣẹ́ yìí túbọ̀ ṣe ń gbèrú sí
Because the last time you came.
ẹ kú àṣeyọrí náà
Thank you, sir.
àṣeyọrí ńlá ńlá lẹ́ẹ̀ máa ṣe ní.
Amen. Amen. Ẹ ṣé sir. Bóyá kẹ́ bá mi tún padà dá orúkọ yẹn fún wọn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí láti lè confam pé ìkan tó Olúbùnmi sọ yẹn o òótọ́ ni orúkọ tó dá ẹni náà ló wà lé agbára.
bí olóòtú ṣe sọ èmi ni mò ń jẹ́ Akeem Adébọ́lá Yusuf tí wọ́n ti ń sọ.
I don't suppose to ask this question, sir, but I'm going to ask you because the time you came, we were online then, and many people didn't see or hear the interview. So I want you to just briefly tell us about your upbringing, your ìlú bí tẹ́tí wá yẹn, orílẹ̀-èdè bí tàti bí yín, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe dàgbà, bí gbogbo ẹ ṣe rí kẹ́tó di bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wá.
bá ṣiṣẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Gambia lẹ́yìn tí mo tún fi iṣẹ́ báǹkì lẹ̀ wípé ètò àṣetútó with the opinion then ni pé ọmọ tó bá fẹ́ lọ kàwé abroad nítorí pé ò lè pass ní Nàìjíríà. So well in the early days of Nigeria kí universities tó pọ̀ kí àwọn universities tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wà nígbà tó yẹ pé UI Ife and ABU àti Unilag nìkan ló wà. Early in those days àwọn aláyé àwọn bàbá wa àwọn ìjọba àpapọ̀ ló ń fún wọn scholarship kan lọ kàwé abroad but nígbà tó ti di tiwa yunifásitì ti tóbi mọ́kànlá mẹ́wàá méjìlá a máa ń wò pé ọmọ tí ò lè pass JAMB ní Nàìjíríà ló máa ń lọ and pass it and go into university and do whatever you want to do. Sherry, the beauty of life ni pé kò sí bí a ṣe máa rìn torí òní jì ire tí Ọlọ́run bá ti kọ mọ́ ní kálukú if you stay at home you are not going to succeed. Màá ríṣẹ́ Nàìjíríà and to the glory of God I got a job less than 2 months after my service in a bank but I got 3 jobs. Even at the time when people had started complaining pé kò síṣẹ́ I got 3 jobs. I didn't think I was going to be a banker but I got a civil service job, I got a journalism job, and I got a banking job. And banking was paying me far better than any of the other two jobs. So the only reason I became a banker was because I followed the money. So what I think we all need to know is where you go is not as important as what your focus is in life. Because the streets of abroad are not paved with gold. People are struggling there. People are not employed there. There are unemployed people. There are homeless people abroad in US, in UK, in Canada. If you adopt somebody as a godfather, if he doesn't adopt you as a godchild, kí ló fẹ́ ṣe?
Prove to all the world
You know,
that Africa is.
All right, sir.
God can also decide that your godfather has some other things that will distract him from being there for you.
I can't they ignore hiding
Yeah,
any.
but when God is there for you, whatever opportunity comes your way, use the best of it, like I always say. But your focus should be what you want to achieve
become
with your own life. Not that I must go abroad. I've seen a lot of people ruin fantastic careers to go and do things that are less than what they would have been.
So, not until we travel abroad before we become a pride of your nation, a pride of your family, a pride even to your personal self.
It is not compulsory that you travel.
Bukola Olutayo Daramola is watching. Olushola Oluwatoyi is here. Sonia Kolawole is also watching. Thank you for being there. Don't forget to share this video as you're watching. Don't forget to share this conversation. And don't forget to like and comment.
There is no place like Africa to me. Yeah, Africa.
When you were talking the other time, sir, you said you left banking work sometimes because you thought you've done enough. You're thinking, okay, let me face something else. So how was the journey after leaving banking industry, sir?
Well, it has been an interesting journey because I left banking. I'm going into consulting. And I got my first good big-time consulting engagement from an oil company in the United States that also had operations in West Africa, who I had also interacted with in the course of traveling around West Africa. And they said, "Oh, come and consult with us from Texas." And I said, "No, I will consult with you from Lagos." So I started out as a consultant, a financial advisor to that oil and gas company. But it was from there I was drafted to Kuru. So the federal government had to make me cut that thing short. And coming out of Kuru, 2014, end of 2014, and the next thing was everybody started saying, "Oh, come and join politics, come and join politics."
That's another place we're going to now.
So I had to hide. And I practically stayed in hiding in Nigeria, all over the place. But somebody will pick me up.
Why were you hiding? You didn't want to do it. You think you've done enough in your own field and you don't want to go into politics. Or why did you hide? Were you trying to hide yourself then?
Well, you see, sometimes you feel that maybe sometimes you have your own wishes. You have the things you really feel like doing and the things you don't feel like doing.
Okay.
I had an interesting life. I wanted to study law. I did my JAMB and made the cutoff for law.
Okay.
And those are the times when, before JAMB instituted quotas, and those are the times had very strict quotas, and they said, "Oh, there were too many people that made the
From
cutoff."
this, let's cut.
So let's cut up to this point, and they said,
Okay.
all the others who couldn't make law, give
They
them
should
other
go
courses.
for other courses.
So they told me to read. They gave me admission for sociology, and I said I didn't like that. So give me something else, and they said political science. I said, okay. I thought I was going to change back to law, but they didn't agree. My HOD was like, no, you can't. I won't let
Not
you
knowing that God was just trying to
go.
rearrange the journey
to reroute
to
me.
suit himself.
So I read political science. Then I saw money in banking. I thought I was going to be a diplomat. I see in banking. I went to banking, and God was laughing. And God, I'm sure that God, sometimes I wish I could see God, because God will just keep laughing at me and say, oh, serious.
Torí pé plan tí àwọn ní fún yín ó yàtọ̀ sí
Yeah,
tẹ́yìn feel pé
because, oh, serious, you know, because I'm a typical Ibadan man, you always do what you want to do. So I kept in banking. Then politics came, 1999, and that was when, and I was a banker, and I just changed jobs and brought in a new bank to Ibadan called Standard Trust Bank,
okay.
which the single largest individual shareholder was His Excellency, the Otun Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja. So that was how I got to meet him. And we brought the bank to Ibadan, and we kept running around. And the governor then, His Excellency, God rest his soul, Alhaji Lam Adesina, just took a liking to me because of one or two
Things you've done.
two things I did in banking with the state government. I said, Oba Adubo Bonwo, ni Oroyan. He later even realized that he knew my parents. And he was like, all the chairman who Ibadan noticed. I was like,
Nebo.
you must be joking. And that was in the year 2000. So I did everything and refused to listen to him. In fact, I avoided getting near his office for long until they did the local government elections. Then Senator Ladoja said, Kabiyesi said he was going to run for the governorship. Of course, because he was my director and he's from Ibadan,
You couldn't say no.
I got very involved.
Okay?
Then one day himself, he just called me to his house one day and said, you have to run for Senate. And I was like, Lati Bosibo. And that was in 2003. So I said, no, sir, I'm not running for Senate. So then they said, why? I said, I'm a banker. I want to continue being a banker. So he said, oh, if I win the elections, you're going to join my cabinet. I said, okay, I have time to think about that. I can always do that. In fact, that one, it was the second offer that I took. I didn't even take the first offer he gave me. So I joined his own government. So when we finished, I was like, thank God, at least let me go back to banking. So we finished our government on Thursday. By Monday, I was back at my job in the bank. And you know, it was Governor Kala who succeeded us.
Yeah.
And Governor Kala sent for me and said, I want you to be a commissioner. And I was like, no way, I'm not going to do it. If I tried, called me for meetings, and I still told him it wasn't going to happen. In the course of Governor Kala's administration, I got transferred out of the country.
Politics.
And I was there, and Baba was going to start Accord. And my elder brother, my very good brother, and a guy in the office, Senator Sharafa-Din Ali, started calling me and said, Akim Atibere Accord Leo, Mabo, what's your senatorial candidate? Well, let me call him Bawi. And that was 2011 elections again. And I was like, no way. So when I came back, and when I sneaked in after Kuru, and everybody was like, oh, Akim Awashe politics. Then some people from Senator Ajimobi's, God bless his soul,
Amen.
government, came and said, oh, we want you to be a commissioner in Senator Ajimobi's government. I said, I've been conducted with Boyin Lavoni.
One day I ring on continue Rio.
But all along, I always thought I would never be a politician. That I don't
So,
want to be.
How did you later become one?
I later, okay, no, the story still continues. So I refused with Governor Ajimobi's government. So many people didn't know that I was in town until one day Barrister Adebayo Shitu got to know that I was in town, and it was like, you know, I'm going to I've become a minister, and we should be working together because we work together in Babaladoja's team. And I was like, don't try that. But eventually, he blackmailed me into going because he was someone close to my father, so he knew the kind of language he could use that would make me join him.
Join him without any argument.
Without any argument, but also, you know, but Tomadeba Gbogbo Kuku, yeah, I know Gbogbo Sisi. So I worked with him for some months, and then one day we were going into a meeting, and I told him, when we finished the meeting, I said, he wanted to give me an answer. I said, no, I've already told your secretary I'm leaving. And he was like, since when? I told them I'm on my way to the airport. I'm going back to Ibadan, and I ran away. So, and I was sitting and feeling cool. Then one day, another Ibadan senior chief
Came in again.
came in to visit me. Someone I'd known all over life. He died last year. I called him back for Rukewo,
Amen.
Chief Muiz Akonde. And he said he wanted to see me. And he said, what have you been doing? I said, just doing consulting. Unfortunately, all my clients were not in Ibadan. So I was always just in Ibadan for the weekend. And my clients were either in Lagos or Abuja or outside Nigeria. So it was always easy for me. It was easy for me to get away with people not knowing that I was back to Ibadan. So he invited me out one day, and I met some of his friends and we were talking. And it was like my life is like a Nollywood movie, honestly, because it's like something you see out of a Nollywood film. And I was talking to him and his friends, and we're just discussing Nigeria generally, what do you think government should be doing and what. And he said, kill a film. And the friend said, there were 2 or 3, but we know. So I was like, Shefa Femi Shogun. Because I'm that kind of sarcastic person. But Shefa Femi Shogun. And they said, no, it was a governorship candidate party. Which party?
Wari Bisasimo.
Only Action Democratic Party. No, Moshe Sangbai, that was 2019 elections. And I said, she must have people move governor. She must have people move politics. And they did everything. And the next thing I was getting were calls from the national chairman of the party, the national leader of the party. You have to be a governorship candidate. And I was like, from where to where? My family, everybody, we were all like, can't this thing ever stop? Can't we just have peace? Because I'm a very family person. Okay. I just love my peace. I love my quiet. So, and the pressure got much. But thank God, His Excellency, Governor Adebayo Akala, God bless his soul,
Amen,
came back and said he wanted that governorship seat. I said, but I take it.
Willingly.
Willingly. In fact, when everybody was like, Akim will not give it away, he said, I'm going to bank Lower Akim. I said, but they say you want this thing, take it. I don't want. So that happened in 2019. And I said, relief, moti bolowa wanta.
Meanwhile, want to reckon corner.
God kept laughing. So by the time I was going to get to 2023, I had 2 former governors. I went to visit one former governor. Someone said, Kilo Chamanchi want to come back in the car, come shake it. Show my boy I go to match politics. I want to do what? And I was like, don't start it.
And he had already started it.
And he started it. And he was telling the other former governor that, don't you remember this guy? And the guy said, oh, he was this and that. And I said, hey, you should be in politics. I looked at the 2 of them and twitched my nose.
You thought they were just playing.
And I left. But it was like they kick-started something. And after that day, different people would tell me, show my boy, you come and politics. Show my boy, you come and politics. Show my boy, you come and politics. And I was like,
what if you're saying and they started saying it? So
I just thought, okay, the best way to have peace from all these things
is to
agree and join it and do it. So I did it, and I said, if I'm going to do politics, I will have to do it from Action Democratic Party, because that was the first
they've called you before. They were the first people.
They were the first people who called
Thank
me.
God for the journey so far.
So it's an interesting.
Okay, before we continue with that, sir, let me ask this question. You've been enjoying everything from the beginning. There wasn't a dark time. Lẹ́ni yìí, ó rí bákan, ìkan tí mo expect kọ́ ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹ bá wa ṣàlàyé yẹn, mo fẹ́ kẹ́ sọ dáadáa ní Yorùbá torí àwọn tí òyìnbó lẹ ti ń sọ látẹ̀kùn ẹ̀.
Ṣé mo pé oní bàbá wa Ebenezer Obey ń play kọ́lọ̀ kó bá wa lọ́ra ẹ̀mí wọn sí.
Àmín.
Wọ́n kọrin kan nígbà kan wọ́n ní bó tilẹ̀ wù kó run kó mú tó.
Sánmà dúdú tí ẹ yóò wá bó ti wù káyé wà ládùn.
You cannot swim without getting wet.
Okay.
I think, in fact, funny enough, I got more into èèyàn lè sọ pé ó káyàn láyà díẹ̀ níbi tẹ́ ẹ̀ ti lè èèyàn rò pé bóyá ń dé òṣèlú ló ti máa rí nǹkan ìkàyà.
bóyá
But
àwọn
àmọ́
oríṣiríṣi
nídìí iléeṣẹ́ báńkì ni mo ti rí nǹkan ìkàyà.
kàyà.
ṣe rí ní mi mọ̀ bọ́ ṣe ń kọ́ wọn lẹ́sìn mo ti kúrò nídìí báńkì ó ti lé bí ọdún 10 nísìn. ṣe rí nígbà yẹn tó bá kọ́kọ́ wọṣẹ́ báńkì wọ́n á kí ẹ káàbọ̀ wọ́n á kí ẹ kú oríire wọ́n á ní bọ̀ wípé àmọ́ o iṣẹ́ yìí iṣẹ́ tó dáa ló gba ọ̀bọ̀ tíṣẹ́ ẹlẹ́gẹ́ ni máa bẹ̀rù nítorí pé lọ́jọ́ kan ń bọ̀ tó lè jí tó kúrò nílé ẹ láàárọ̀ tí ó jẹ́ pé àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá ló máa sùn.
ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ara kò bá.
kọ́lọ́ má jẹ́ ara kò bá kọ́lọ́ má jẹ́ ara dàbá. irú ẹ̀ dẹ́ padà ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi lẹ́yìn tí mo ti ṣe bí ọdún 12-13 lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé àwọn kan wá sí àkáǹtì pẹ̀lú wa tó di wàhálà ó dọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ó dọ̀rọ̀ ilé ẹjọ́ lẹ́ni ilé ẹjọ́ lọ́la. àmọ́ àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé àwẹ̀ àyànkọ̀ọ̀kan nítorí pé àtàwọn ọlọ́pàá àti ilé ẹjọ́ wọ́n rí pé kò sí nǹkan kan tí a bá wọn lọ́wọ́ sí ní tí wọ́n ṣe wípé àwọn ló ṣe fúnra wọn.
Olúwa ṣeun.
wọ́n wá sí ilé ìfowópamọ́ tó fẹ̀gbẹ́ ti ilé ìpamọ́ tèmi ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tí mo ti jẹ́ abẹnugan bẹ̀. mo ṣe wá gbọ́ tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rọ òjò gẹ́jẹ̀wọ̀n lọ́jọ́ yẹn òkè dẹ ní mi gbogbo èèyàn wà nísàlẹ̀ báwo pé wàhálà dé ẹjọ́ lọ́wọ́ ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ bóyá máa dọ́dọ̀ wa náà tó jẹ́ pé bí mo ṣe ń sáré gun step lọ sísàlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n yìnbọn tẹ̀lé mi lọ títí tó ń fi rí mi mọ́. náà wò mí láti ta torí glass wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n fi ìbọn tẹ̀lé.
adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀ Ọlọ́run fún wa dí àánú ọpẹ́ lẹ́nì torí tí ò bá ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ pé Ọlọ́run ti ṣe àbátí ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ láti lè pè yín ní àmúyangàn orílẹ̀-èdè lẹ́nì ojú ọjọ́ yẹn ó ti ń sáré gan-an níbi ẹni pé ìgbà ọ̀la tí ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ó ti kù ṣẹ́jú díẹ̀. a pè yín ní àmúyangàn orílẹ̀-èdè sà a tún wò yín pé ẹni ọlá ẹni yìí ni iná ṣe ń pè yín sọ́tún sósì wá ṣe gọ́vnọ̀ wá ṣe mínísítà wá ṣe sínétọ̀ come and do this come and do that nípasẹ̀ yín sà àwọn ọ̀dọ́ mélòó lẹ ti gbé dìde àwọn wo ló ti lè sọ pé nípasẹ̀ mi ni wọ́n gbà di ènìyàn nípasẹ̀ mi lẹ́ni yìí gbà dìde torí wípé wọ́n ní tí èèyàn bá ti ń gòkè ó ní láti máa fa àwọn tó wà lẹ́yìn lọ ìsàlẹ̀ àbí bó náà ṣe máa ń sọ you need to drag them along with you so that kó má lọ jẹ́ pé àwọn tó wà nísàlẹ̀ ló máa púùlù èèyàn tó wà lókè jábọ́. So how have you contributed to the progress of other people?
tí àwọn tó tiẹ̀ wà nísàlẹ̀ ò bá púùlù yẹn jábọ́ ẹni tó ń gòkè lọ ọjọ́ kan wàá padà sọ̀kalẹ̀ tí ò bá ní àwọn èèyàn tó ti fagùnkè kò sẹ́ni tó máa sìn ẹ́ tó máa fi sọ̀kalẹ̀ láyọ̀ ó dẹ̀ lè ré bọ́ nírèkúrè. I have been very lucky because God gave me the kind of heart that man believe pé any blessing you have anything you have is grace.
Sure.
Is blessing. And man bẹ Ọlọ́run pé gbogbo rẹ̀ tí o bá fẹ́ ṣe tó bá lẹ́nu tó bá fẹ́ ṣoore fún gbogbo àwọn mi jẹ́ kí n ṣe fún. So I look at people and say if you have the opportunity to do good for anybody
do it wholeheartedly.
And tẹ́ bá ní kí n kà mí tẹ́ lè kà.
Olúwa ṣe.
Nítorí ìgbà míì sí mí tẹ́ lè sọ báyà wọn díẹ̀ kan tá a rí àmọ́ ní tó máa ń dùn mọ́ mi inú ni pé ẹnu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí mo sì lọ sílé ìfowópamọ́ kan ẹnìkan gbórúkọ mi ọ̀gá ilé ìfowópamọ́ yẹn ó fi dọ̀bálẹ̀ lé ẹ̀yin lẹ́ ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti gbórúkọ yín lẹ́ I've been looking for you àbí ká lọ sílé ìfowópamọ́ mi kọ́ ga ni ẹ̀yin ni ẹ mú mi wọnú iléeṣẹ́ ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe báyìí ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe báyìí.
So ẹ ti ní ipa rere tó pọ̀ nínú ayé àwọn ènìyàn lágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ ní kánjú fi wá sílẹ̀ 07048001015 08022102163 àlejò wa tí wọ́n wà pẹ̀lú wa lẹ́nìí àwọn ni Alhaji Hakeem Adébọ́lá Yusuf ẹ lè pè wọlé kẹ́ bá wa kí wọn kẹ́ bá wa pọ́n wọn lé fún gbogbo àwọn kan tó ti ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ní 1 or 2 questions you can also ask him. Yàtọ̀ sí yẹn sir, ẹ jẹ́ kí n wá béèrè, there was after I really need time but I'm about sáré bá wa sọ kékeré pápápá. After tí wọ́n declare Governor Makinde the winner of that year's election, ẹ congratulate wọn. Ẹ wá sọ nǹkan kan níbẹ̀ yẹn, máa wò pé any heart of God and ẹ dẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan tó jọ mí lójú pé kí wọ́n gbìyànjú láti jẹ́ kí ìlú Ìbàdàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ kó ṣe dáadáa sí lásìkò wọn níbẹ̀ ṣe put ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn nígbà yẹn. Sir, with the situation of things now, what will you say to what you said then and what is happening in Oyo State now? Has it done anything tó lè mú kẹ́ sọ pé wọ́n what winning the election then or otherwise?
ọmọ ẹ̀dá èèyàn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé.
You said ensure good governance in Oyo State.
You see,
after congratulating him.
ṣe rí ọmọ ẹ̀dá èèyàn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé iṣẹ́ nìkan wọ̀tí láti débì kan. Torí pé Ọlọ́run ló jẹ́ kíyàn débẹ̀.
Ọlọ́run ló ní agbára.
So Ọlọ́run ti gbé wọn débẹ̀, Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ti gbé wọn débẹ̀ náà. Oníkálukú wọn ní ọba mẹ́wàá, ìgbà mẹ́wàá, Sẹ́ríkí Ngoma,
Zamani Ngoma.
Ibi tí Ọlọ́run fún wọn ní òye dé, wọ́n ń ṣe débẹ̀. You see, why I said ensure good governance, it was a code.
Yeah.
The governor and I, we belong to a group. We call it the Fortune Group. That Fortune Group, we set it up in 2002 as a support group for Governor Rashidi Ladoja.
Okay.
And the only group I know in this world that has only one program. Good governance. We didn't have two agenda. We had only one agenda, good governance. And that was said, ensure good governance. When His Excellency is out of office, we will assess him. But Ojonro, they sọ pé kò tó tànà torí pé àmọ́ bí tó máa dá sí.
Olúwa ṣeun. Kí wá ní advice fẹ́ni fún àwọn tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn, those that are yet to be somebody but they're still struggling to become someone. Àwọn náà fẹ́ di èèyàn pàtàkì. These days we discover that most of our youths, what they believe in is owó ìṣàgbọ́dọ̀ wà. So wọ́n tẹ ẹ̀jẹ̀ sílẹ̀, killing here and there. Wọ́n gbájú ẹ̀, wọ́n ṣe oríṣiríṣi. And ní gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́tí sọ látẹ̀ nǹkan, you didn't mention where you killed someone because you wanted to be famous. You didn't mention where you need to rob someone of his or her right before you are what you are today. So what advice do you have for our upcoming youths? And how do you want the Nigerian youth? Ṣé dandan ni pé wọ́n lè ṣoríire mọ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí àfi tán bá lọ sílùú ọba? And sir?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
Sherry, to my friends, the youth, every shortcut will end up being a wrong cut.
Every shortcut.
The only way to success, there are only two ingredients. Number one, work hard as if prayers don't work. Work hard as if prayers don't work. Number two, pray hard as if hard work doesn't pay. Put in 95% of your energy into what you know how to do. And make sure you are only going into positive endeavors. Anything tẹ́ bá ń ṣe tẹ́ bá ti need láti máa hide is a recipe for disaster. It will always end in disaster. Choose positive endeavors. Put all your energy, your intellect, your effort, and your prayer into it. Let 95% of your energy go into it. And let your prayer bring in that final 5% of grace. Because in your Julagbenba, Ọlọ́run ló ń jẹ́ kí iṣu ta. Many people will run. Even the people who say they are doing rituals, mélòó nu wọn ló ń succeed pẹ̀lú rituals. Èèyàn mélòó ló ṣe rituals to succeed? Many people end up cutting short their own lives, their own future, and nothing pays like hard work. So work hard, pray hard, and let nature take its course. Success will come your way.
We are proud to call you our own. A true gem that shines brightly in our nation's crown. Your achievements are a testament to the power of hard work and dedication and passion. We are very happy to have you on the program today, and it is a great pleasure to call you our nation's pride, because you didn't go into putting your hand or staining your hands in blood because you wanted to become someone. And you make Nigeria too proud, not both home and abroad. Ẹ jẹ́ kí ojú kó tì wá gbogbo bí tí orúkọ yín ti ń jáde lórílẹ̀‐èdè àgbáyé àti orílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ń jáde sí rere. A dẹ̀ ń rí yín ní gbogbo ìgbà gẹ́gẹ́ bí àrídùnnú. Because of that, we say you are the nation's pride and the honor shall be permanent. So let's put our hands together and celebrate our nation's pride today. Let's stand up for our nation's pride. Alhaji Akeem Adebola Yusuf.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me, so stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up.
Thank you very much for being at the program on